Hey, we're back. And here's the intro.
Hi, this is Ashley Eckstein, voice of Ahsoka Tano, and thank you for listening to the Super Awesome Geek Show.
Hey. How you doing, guys? How you doing? Hope everybody can hear me. We got Chris Backstreet's back. All right. I have a pinned link at the top. If anybody wants to join in today, they are welcome to click that link and chat with me while we go through Star Wars toys. We have, look at these troopers. Oh, they're all waiting in the dark. We can shed some light on them, and we've got lots and lots of troopers and things to look at. Today we got two more bounty hunters. We got to do Dengar and IG-88, and then we're digging in to all of these troopers. I didn't realize I had this many stormtroopers, guys. This is double road. It's double and double at the top. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 regular stormtroopers that I found so far. So there could be more in cases and stuff, but that's what we're looking at today because that's all I found so far. Yeah. All right. And we got snow troopers and AT-AT drivers. Bunch of stuff to look at. Sergeant Slaughterhouse is here. Good to see you guys again. Lobot, love the smell of vintage in the morning. Yeah. I needed that intro. I was nodding off at my desk. Are you at work already? Wow. Chris, Bile, how you doing? White Shadow, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Sure thing. If you want, come on in. Let's chat. All right. Should we just dig right into it? I mean, are we going to just dig right in, or what do we got? I don't think I have anything to talk about. Chris is saying, yeah, I got here at 2 a.m. Oh my gosh. Wow, Chris, dedication to your job, man. All right, let's device not connected. Bile, it says device not connected. It says you need to connect a mic and a camera before you can add them to the stream. So I don't know if you got a mic and camera issue going on there, but you need something before it'll add you to the stream. So I'm going to do this. Now, my picture here, my face is going to get washed out because the lights to light the figures basically wash out me and my computer. So, but the most important thing is the figures. So that's what we're attempting to light up here. Let me see if I can do anything about that. That's pretty good, right? I don't know. That's all right. I guess that's all right. Oh, I got 2 waters today. What am I doing? Ooh, there's water everywhere. Biles like, that's okay. No one wants to see it anyways. Jason 80s cosplay music toys. Look at that. How you doing, Jason 80s? Good to see you. Good day, everyone. Chris won something. Chris Miwa won something, and I think he's going to divide it up. We won something on the Christmas in July stream, and I think we're splitting it up amongst his crew, his team. So it's pretty cool. Do something I can still see here. Well, that's the best you're gonna get, Chris. All right, so like I said, the first, let's see, we got we were also looking at, let me go here and look. What was what we were looking at? Was it Variant Villain? Yeah, we had Variant Villain, and then do 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 do. Could we type in like? Let me see. What was it? IG. Boom boom boom. Yeah, we were looking at some of this stuff, I think. So let me put. I'll put variant. I'll share the screen in a second here. So it was Variant Villain, and then the other one was oh, what the heck was that? Like a Star Wars archive, something like that. You guys help me out. What the hell were we looking at last week? We found it. See, without Rum, I'm lost. Rum was my. He knew where all the variant websites were. So, um, that's awesome to do, Chris. Only One Kenobi's here. How you doing, Only One? Morning, John Sags. Mr. Tamiya's here. Good to see you. Be right back. Coffee refill. Anyone need anyone? Star Wars Vintage Variation Guide. Look in history, John. Oh yeah, that's right. The history of my web browser. That's right. Morning, everyone. Morning, Rolando. How you doing? How you doing? So let me oh, I found it. I found it. Yeah. All right. So let me see. Let's go to IG88. Where is he? Here he is. IG88 on this one. No. Close, stupid ad. All right. All right, all right, all right. No, we got a Final Fantasy ad here too. We got so many ads on these websites now. Everyone's using like AdSense and other things to put ads on all their websites. Always saying hi to everybody. All right, let me share screen. Share screen. And did that come through? Okay, yeah. So this is Star Wars vintage action figures. It's High as a Kite UK website, and they have Star Wars variations here for all the figures. This one doesn't show the yellow variant though. But we've got a lot of COOs, and then there's a COO variant on Variant Villain that shows a lot of the COO variations, like the Smile, Cater, Unitoy, stuff like that. So I don't think I have any of those kind of variants, but we'll look anyways, just in case. So for IG88, let's see. I'm gonna move. Can I move this back here and leave the? I guess I got to remove this for now, and then do this. Okay. One lone TIE pilot. Yeah, he was hanging out with the other guys. I got to find the rest of my TIE pilots. I thought we had a couple in the bag to look at next, but Yeah, I don't know where they went. I'm moving stuff around so much. I'm going to be finding figures forever. Fabulous Disasters here. Good morning. Good morning. Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Hey Bill, how you doing? Blue Harvest Mark is here. How you doing? How you doing? Michael Reed, good day. I hope your friend doesn't price a variant at $10 like the Tusken Raider. Weird. Salacious just woke up now, sat on toilet doing a poo, watching on the phone. Thank you for that image. We were all wondering, we all wanted to imagine that in the morning here. You sitting on the poo, sitting on the toilet, taking a poo, watching us on the phone. That was the image we were all waiting for. So thank you, Salacious Rum. All right, so the first thing with IG-88 that's the biggest notable variations are these you can get some that are kind of silvery looking and some that are dull. So it's almost like it's been chromed, and some are matted, like a matte type. So those are the two major variations. You can really see it in the heads, how one looks more shiny metal like and one looks sort of matte. And usually they'll have the orange paint on them. And I've got a few, I've got a few of the chromy ones. And I've got a chromy one that looks like it's all been worn off. That one's really beat up and dirty. It's like got dirt all over it. Like I got to take this in the bath. And then I've got, it looks like two of them that are the flat matte type versions. One is fading a little bit. Looks like this one's turning a little green. So as far as these go, I mean, I'll check the COOs to make sure, but I might choose this for the cabinet for that variant because he's not as faded. He looks better, so he's a good one to go in the cabinet. And then and we'll check the COOs just to make sure there isn't any outstanding difference here. And then as far as the chromy ones go, the one that was all covered in dirt, he might clean up, but his head looks like he's missing a few paint app things here. And then I might go with this. Wow, this is a tough call, but I might go with this one because his head looks like it's more distinct. The paint, it looks like it's losing some of the paint in this area, where this one looks really distinct and you can really see the details. So I might put that in the cabinet as a version of the chrome. That looks pretty cool. Now, the other thing that I've been made aware of is, and I found one, is the yellow variant. And you can clearly see it's a totally different paint. It's not just faded, it's totally different. And it's on all the eyes, all the way around. It's a greenish yellow paint all the way around. And there's a lot of examples of these, like Woody at Woody's Alaskan up in Alaska. He actually just kind of randomly stumbled across this variant, found it, and started asking the community about it. Like, is it faded paint? What is this? And then we all started looking online, and we found a number of examples of these. And then a couple people even found carded examples with the yellow. And it's hard to believe that people didn't start noticing this yellow variant until very recently. I'm not going to go all out and say Woody was the first one to discover it, because we don't know that for sure. But at least within our own community, it seems like Woody was the first one to discover it. So it's kind of an interesting variation, and I saw one up for sale, so I ended up buying one as well. And it wasn't noted either. The one I bought here, I had to search all through these like a million IG88 postings until I found one. They didn't note it as yellow variant or anything like that. I don't think the seller even knew there was a variant. So it's not like they're still relatively inexpensive because they're not a lot of people I think even know about this variant. So yeah, it's really obvious that it's not faded orange. You know what I mean? It's a completely it's a real paint job. You know what I mean? Like done at the factory. So. And like I said, people have since found carded examples of the yellow one. So, yeah, interesting stuff. So that yellow one's got to go in the cabinet as well. Everyone's doing it. Everyone needs poo. Check the body for the origin. Yeah, that's next. I'm going to check out. The whole chat's been taken over by Rum's poo talk. Yeah, they're throwing down some knowledge early in the AM. Well, knowledge as far as we know so far. I'm hoping that we can get some experts to weigh in on this yellow variant and the Dengar variant that's coming up too, which I've already had some experts take a look at the Dengar variant. But add to the stream. Here comes Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hey, what's going on?
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. I'm just amazed at how many different variations of all these Star Wars figures that there are.
Yeah, it can start getting to be a nightmare with the amount of variants. Yeah.
I noticed a few of your stormtroopers have started to yellow there. Have you thought about doing some of the things that they suggest doing to get some of the yellowing off of them?
No. I'm very particular about my Kenner figures. I want to leave them exactly how I found them.
Okay.
So I don't chemically treat them. It's a soft toothbrush and some really mild dish soap that I clean them with, and that's like it. I'm not going to repaint them. I'm not going to touch them up. I'm not going to try and clean them with any of those peroxides or solutions or UV lights or any of that stuff. Because the other thing is, in my experience with doing that with other items, and then watching people do that online, there are times where if you get the formula wrong or you leave them in too long or something goes wrong, you make the plastic brittle.
Okay.
And then you're stuck with, would I rather have a white clean item that I can never pick up because I risk breaking it every time I pick it up because it's so brittle, but it looks good, or do I just want to leave it original and it'll never break and you know what I mean and be fine and just be yellow? So, but for me, it's kind of like if I feel like if I chemically treat a Star Wars figure, it would no longer be original. In my opinion, for my own personal collection, it makes me feel like I've altered the figure now, and it would not be original anymore. You know, where I mean, and that's like, it's a fine line even with me, because like I have no problem putting a reproduction sticker on an item, and I know that's not original anymore. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just something about. That's also why I won't paint original figures. Like I even have a hard time today customizing and painting like a Black Series figure, because I feel like, you know, yeah, you've made a neat customized figure, but like if I today ran across like a stormtrooper that someone painted blue and made a custom Kenner figure back in the 80s, like say they painted it when they were a little kid, you know, I would consider that worth 50 cents or $1, 5 cents. You know what I mean? It has taken away all of its value because you painted it blue. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't look at them as a custom action figure. I look at it as you completely destroyed that thing and now it's worth $0.
Right.
So I even feel that way about modern figures when I see people customizing, you know, Black Series and stuff like that. I'm like, all the more for you to do it if you do it within your own collection. Have fun. I am not against it in any way, but for me personally, I wouldn't do it to one of my own figures because I feel like 50 years from now, if I run across a Black Series figure that had been altered in any way, like painted or whatever, it again is now worth $0, because it's not the original figure anymore. It's not the original thing that was released. So, yeah, I just kind of, that's my feeling on customs and things like that, but
Right.
and I kind of feel like it's the same boat. If I were to try and clean up these yellowed stormtroopers, I feel like that means I'm customizing them in a certain sense. So
I can see that.
I do.
Well, you
Yeah.
brought up something else. You were saying you weren't against reproduction stickers. Well,
No, not at all. Yeah.
what about reproduction weapons?
I try to avoid them within my own collection. I'm finding that it's getting to be a little bit impossible to avoid them because if you buy a junk lot, I've found a couple times where I might get a couple G.I. Joe weapons and a He-Man axe, and then I'll find a gun in there for Star Wars, and the gun will be reproduction. So a few reproductions I think have slipped into my collection here and there. But I'm not really against them. What I'm against is people selling them as original,
Uh-huh.
But I don't really care if I can barely tell. I mean, if I can blatantly tell the difference, I kind of kick them out of my collection and I'll use them for something else or a modern figure or whatever. I won't throw them away or cut them in half. I'll keep them and use them for something modern or whatever I want to do in the future. But like the figures that are going in the cabinet, I'm going to make sure they have their original weapons. But if they're on display in a like a diorama thing that's just there to show the scene, I don't care. It's like if they have a reproduction weapon, that's where the reproduction weapon will go. Like if I set up my cantina scene or something where it's like they can have reproduction weapons. It doesn't matter. But the display case that I'm doing, I want to make sure they have all the original weapons. And most of my weapons are original. Like I said, there might only be one or two that are. We found one the other day. We found a Tusken Raider gaffy stick that was clearly a reproduction. So
Yeah.
we've been finding a couple here and there that kind of have slipped in through the years. Because really, when they started doing that back in the late 90s, early 2000s, people they really were trying to sell them as originals, and they were sticking them in with their job lots and junk lots of figures.
Right.
So I guess a few of them have slipped in through the years because they weren't labeling them as reproductions way back then, so people were selling whole collections and some of the stuff was reproduction and they had no idea. You know what I mean? So, and plus I have a weird feeling that somewhere very soon, like the hobby in general, as far as collecting vintage toys, has got to adapt because you don't see like people who do antique cars and vintage vehicles, like especially if you go all the way back to like 1910 and you're getting a Model A or a Model T. You don't see those guys running around forums bitching and complaining about reproduction parts.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
So those parts aren't available anymore. Sometimes you have to make the parts yourself.
Yeah,
to fix
yeah.
the car.
Yes. So I think that we as toy collectors should treat our hobby just as serious and just as respectful as the car community does. People scoff at toy collectors and comic book collectors because you guys are always bickering about nonsense. When a serious art collector or a serious car collector will accept reproductions and touch-ups and things like that, I think we need to start taking our hobby just as serious. We need to elevate ourselves to the level of those high art and high collectibles like cars and things. And for another reason is because some automobiles that were $2 or $3 grand when they came out are now fetching 100, 200,000. Some of our toys and comic books that were 50 cents or $1, $2 when they came out are now fetching tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we have reached that point where monetarily we are equal to those car people. We are equal to some fine art auctions and things, especially if you get into comic books. There are $1 million comic books, $2-3 million out there that are floating around. So our hobbies in collecting have reached that status. You know what I mean? So we should treat it with that status and accept that some of these things, like in a few years, you're not going to be able to find the motors. You're not going to be able to find the light bulbs for your AT-AT. We're going to have to accept that there are reproductions in modern things to replace that. Even if it goes to LED or something to make that thing work, we're just going to have to accept that and move on. So I think as the years go on, we're going to become, myself included, we're all going to become more and more acceptant of refurbished ones using some modern parts or homemade parts. We're going to be more accepting of reproduction weapons and reproduction parts. So that's just my theory as things move forward. I think we're all going to just learn to accept that these things are inevitable, Yeah. Because you're just not going to be able to find things that are 50, 60 years old, just like with these other collectible hobbies like automobiles and other things.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to some of these parts we just won't be able to find anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are we doing this morning? So we're
let me go back over to this one here. And
okay, this was a different IG-88s, correct?
Yeah. I'm missing a few chats here. Let me go back and make sure.
I think that the Blue Harvest was telling everybody that everybody's collection has got fakes in it. I saw that.
Yeah. Has anyone actually looked into how long the plastic they made will last? Yeah. See, that's the other thing. Is there going to be a point where it starts degrading? I don't know. How long? I mean, like if you keep it in a normal air-conditioned room, I can't imagine it degrading. But if it was left outside, 20 years, it would probably disappear, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Dreamcast video too, I think. It might be the same video. 130. Yeah. The bubbles will go. Yeah, the bubbles on the cards. Eventually, I think what's going to happen is the glue on those bubbles on the card backs is eventually going to dissolve, like fade away to nothing. And all the bubbles are going to start falling off the card backs. I feel like that's inevitable and that's going to happen someday. And it's just going to be like, who's got the last one still sealed? Do you know what I mean? Like, it might take another 50 years for that to happen, but I think it will someday happen. I dread it, but yeah.
Yeah. The yellowing on the bubbles is what's going to make the most people so sad. I know it is.
I don't like yellowing on bubbles myself, and I try to find some without it, but it's very difficult. Yeah, everyone's collection probably does have a repro in it, at least in one spot or another, and they might not even know they had it. Like I didn't know I had that gaffy stick that was reproduction until we were really looking closely at all of them and seeing the differences within the weapons, and then going, oh my gosh, that one's probably fake,
Now the thing about McDonald's big breakfast. God, that makes me hungry. I'll be right back. I gotta go get some coffee.
Can you imagine in 100 years? Yeah. Repro saves marriages. Yeah. That's funny. Dino has fake muscles. That's a fact. Dino. They're CGI. Yeah. That's funny. Deep fake Dino. Oh, we're back on poo. Rum won't leave the poo alone. Darth Muzza, how you doing? I've got a World War II Jeep and use modern fuel in it. Yeah, reproduction fuel. Yeah. Well, the other thing, don't you have to on some vehicles change it? Because a lot of vehicles, if you go back far enough, they used lead gasoline, and nowadays you're not allowed to use lead gasoline. So don't you have to change something within the engine in order to let it accept unleaded gas? If it's that old. I use reproduction batteries in my AT-AT. There you go. Everyone's saying hello. Speaking of poo, I'm going to McDonald's. Yeah, McDonald's big breakfast. No big breakfast. Utah, they still have the big breakfast. Damn it, I'm hungry now. Bubbles will fall off in the next 20 years. Yeah, exactly. You're getting it. Yeah. I mean, I think Mark and I have had that discussion before, Blue Harvest, Mark and I, about the bubbles falling off, and we're wondering when that day will start coming that we'll see them just falling off, The stream has facts. Fact. 5:25 and I want breakfast. Yeah, the valve seats. Yeah, the valve seats or use lead additives. Oh, okay. And are you allowed to use a lead additive? Is it just because there aren't so many on the road that it's not going to pollute the atmosphere like it did at, like what? I just wonder what's the rule with leaded gasoline or lead additives.
I can tell you what I know about that. It's not so much the lead additive in the gasoline that the car's going to have a problem with. What the car's going to have a problem with, especially old cars that are carbureted, it's going to be the ethanol.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
that doesn't mix with a really old car. Okay.
No, because the what happens over time with ethanol is it tends to break up, and the water separates from the ethanol and floats on top of it, and that tends to tear up old carburetors, which is why small gas engines don't like ethanol gasoline, and older cars don't like ethanol gasoline. So if you can find non-ethanol gasoline, that's what you need to put in your lawnmower, and that's what you need to put in your vintage car.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. JT's saying hello to us, and plastic degrades. The figures were not designed for longevity. I got a few on card that are degrading inside the bubble. Yeah. So we're already seeing some of that. So it's only going to get worse as we go longer, further in the future. So I'm going to check out some of these. So 1980 LFL. Let me see what this looks like here. Okay, and then they should have Hong Kong underneath it. Yep. Okay. So it looks like some of these, most of mine are standard Hong Kong American release. Yeah. Oh, interesting. I do have one. All right. So they're all Hong Kong standard releases, but I do have one here where the so the only variation that I have, let me remove this and bring this back up. The only variation I have in the COO is this one doesn't have Hong Kong. It looks like it's scratched off. And they do mention the scratched off COO on the variant page here. And they're saying that is COO removed, Sculpt 1, COO removed. But it doesn't really tell. It's saying it could be what is a smile version? What is SMILE? Do you know what that means? Or it's a Unitoy. Unitoy I've heard before. Mm-hmm. So if it's a Unitoy, the 9 will be lined up with the F. And if it's a smile, that 8 and 80 will be lined up with the L. Okay, so let me see if I can tell. So mine looks like it's a smile version. Yeah, it's a smile. It's not a Unitoy. So
Okay.
what does I'm not familiar with that term smile. SMILE. Does anybody in the chat know what that is? Like, are they POCH? So POCH, PPP is what you're saying? Okay. So it's another word for the PBP Spanish ones then, right? Is what people are talking about? Okay. I'm always impressed by your collection of figures. Thanks. Smile is a Hong Kong factory. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, in any case, I think I've got the 3 versions of IG-88 that are going in my cabinet. So I'm going to set them off to the side. And then the other 3 can be used for dioramas and go in various things like that.
So is that the goal there, John? Is you're going to have one of each variant figure on display in your cabinet?
Yeah, within limits. I mean, I do have like 4 or 5 different shades of yellow for my say like Bespin Luke Skywalker, but I'm not going to put every shade of yellow in. I'm going to do like one yellow one brown-haired one, unless I have a major variant COO, like say a Spanish PBB or a Lily Letty or something like that. Then even if it has yellow or brown hair, it'll go in also. So like with a lot of figures, it's ending up like 2 or 3 variants. Some of them a lot of them are 3. There's 3 Chewbacca's, there's 3 Darth Vaders, there'll be 3 IG-88s now. So I mean, it's getting to where, because of COO and looking at regular paint variations, there's getting to be 3. There'll be 3 Dengars. You'll see in a second here. Mm-hmm. So it's starting to look like there's about 3 of each of these early figures. A lot of Return of the Jedi, it'll start getting down to 1 or 2, but for some reason, Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back had a lot of variations throughout the lines. So, and I want some of the major ones, like if I can get a Holotube Sand Person, I'd love to have that in there, just to show the real distinct variations, So with Dengar, the variations I know of that are really prominent are the face tones.
Okay, one looks like he's got jaundice.
Yeah, so that's one thing to start looking for. And then the other thing I know with the with Dengars is the you can see sometimes that they're like a reddish armor in a gray sort of light armor. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not paint fades. That's recognized real variations there. And then you'll also see differences in the backpack. Let me see if we can find this. Yeah, so there'll be like a reddish backpack and a brownish backpack, you see. Mm. So, but the thing with Dengar is you can get any mixture of all these variations. Like you could have a light-skinned face and red arms but tan body and legs, or you can get red legs and and then a brown backpack or a red backpack. It's like those. It can be almost any combination of all these different paint variants. It's a
wow.
It's a very weird thing to try and collect variants of Dengar. For myself, like this one's really beat up, so he's not going to go in the cabinet. This one's getting yellowed, so he's not going in the cabinet. So for myself, it's just kind of like looking at what, like I might use these 2 because you've got He's got the pale face, he's got the peach face, he's got the brown backpack, and he's got the red backpack. So those to me are the major variants, and I've got it within 2 figures to show off in the cabinet. So I might just do something like this and put them at a slight angle, so you can see the backpack colors and see the face colors are different. And then I might like stand the figure in my case at a little bit of an angle so you can see that stuff. And then the other major variant with Dengar is there are some with no paint on the backpack, and now I've talked to Mark Bellamo about this, he's a lifelong collector of action figures and things of all lines, and he's written many books about it. And we actually even took photos of this for Greg and Gianni, who are doing the Kenner book that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
And those guys talked with Kenner people and various other people and verified that this kind of stuff did happen once in a while, but it's not really considered a paint or a variant. What it's considered a paint error, and it's just whatever factory this was that day. I think this is a standard Hong Kong. Yeah, they just didn't paint the backpack that day. Whoever was working on the line just didn't paint it. So there's probably very few out there. I have found 2 of them in my lifetime, and I now know a third person who found one. And we know of at least 3 of them out there in the world. Mark Bellamo has told me the trick is we want to find one that's still on a card. So if we can find one still on a card that's brand new, you can really put forth a case that this is a legitimate variant rather than just a paint error. Because once the numbers start going up and this is available in many multiple places, it moves from paint error to an actual variant. So for now, this is just considered a paint error. We only know of around 3 of them. And some of these to some collectors are worth quite a bit. I sold my second one to a guy in Chicago, and he gave me a lot of money, like over $1,000 for it.
Oh, wow.
He saw my video and inquired about it, and we came to an agreement, and I was shocked. I was blown away, but he specifically collects these because a lot of times there are only 3 or 4 examples, 5 examples in the whole world. So in his opinion, someone who collects paint error figures, he almost has a one-of-a-kind figure. It's even more rare to him than a Rocket Flyer Boba Fett or a Vinyl Cape Jawa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of these, to people who are seriously into collecting paint error figures, to them, it's more rare than the rarest thing you can think of that was in the normal line, So yeah, once he gave me that kind of offer, I just gladly accepted. And by the next morning, it was actually in my PayPal account. And I remember I took a photo of the PayPal account and sent it to Mark at Blue Harvest. It was like, holy shit, he actually paid for it.
Like, word.
You know what I mean? And yeah, so Mark was pretty much witness to the whole event. Yeah. And so pretty cool little thing to have,
So
and,
are the loose Star Wars figures really commanding those really high prices nowadays?
Oh my gosh, yes. The so like what shocked me is that, like, if you have a chance, go over and watch Padawan Collector. He's been doing a really good job of archiving the prices that things are going for. He's got a really nice spreadsheet with pictures and everything. And Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker with all of his equipment, and I don't remember which color lightsaber, blue or green. I don't remember which one it was, but it went for $200, and it's, to me, that kind of blows my mind that a loose Luke Skywalker could go for $200 when, like, it's like, I feel like I see a lot of these figures at garage sales and things like that, and I'm still able to get them for $5, $6, $7 a figure, $10 a figure. But then I got to start thinking, but that's not mint. Those are like played with figures. And like that Luke Skywalker was fresh out of the box mint. You know, it was so perfect. And the weapons were beautiful. The cape was still perfect, you know. No missing paint. The joints were tight as hell. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, you can find a loose Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight missing all his weapons in a junk lot for $5. So, but yeah, to have one totally mint and beautiful, I mean, those like so it's kind of like when you start getting into like if you were to grade it a 9.0 or higher, you know, though that condition of a figure, something that looks like it was just taken off the card like yesterday, you know what I mean? Like they are commanding hundreds of dollars in some cases that are not last 17. You know, I was thinking to
Yeah.
myself for a long
Yeah.
time, the only figures that are over $100 are the ones that are in the last 17, but that's not true anymore. If you got a really, really nice, pristine, clean example with the original weapon, I mean, they can be as much as a carded figure, as much as an original on card still, you know. So they
Yeah.
are
Well,
starting to command really high dollar amounts for really nice, pristine versions of these loose figures.
it was either last year or year before last. I went over to West Memphis, Arkansas. There's a guy that has a vintage toy shop over there called the Daycare Kids. I actually did a video going over there, and while I was in there, this guy pulls out one of these big, huge plastic bins full of Star Wars figures, and they're all in little plastic, clear plastic little containers in there. And he said, "Here they are. It's the whole collection of Star Wars figures, including the last, what was it, 17, right here." And I was
Huh.
looking in there, and I didn't even look at the prices on those, but he had them all, and they all had their little weapons and everything with them. So yeah, they command a pretty high price these days, and it really blows me away, like you, that loose
Yeah,
figures can command that kind of price, but they have to be in good condition.
yeah. That's the thing, and it. I mean, it really shocked me when I saw that on because I think it was a video that Joey did, Padawan Collector, where he was trying to count down the 10 or 15 most expensive figures that were in his collection so far. And Luke was on the list, and I was surprised that he, you know, had his recent loose values had gone for more than um what even I think it was even more than what a Barada was. You know what I mean? Like he's gone higher than Barada, and Barada's one of the last 17. I think Barada was averaging 160 these days, and the Luke was around 200. So it kind of shocked me that he had. But again, if you think about it, Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker is like the Luke Skywalker to have, and he's got a lightsaber and a pistol and a cloth cape, and you know
Mhm.
what I mean. It's like that figure has a lot of really good accessories. It is an iconic figure that everyone's going to want. So of course he's going to start demanding higher prices because it's a key, you know, that's like the Return of the Jedi figure to have, you know. And in some cases it's the definitive Luke, you know, for some people.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that the original figures that came out, they produced them all throughout the whole line. They just changed the card backs. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
you could get I hate to use the word farm boy, but farm boy Luke or Tatooine Luke would was still available when they were doing the Return of the Jedi figures, and you could
Yeah.
get him on Return of the Jedi pack. So those figures are like everywhere, and of course there's variations on them. I've seen those where the colors of the pants and the hair are different.
Yep. So let me add this to the stream real quick. We've got the
There we go,
Dengar.
Din jars. There we
We got
go.
yeah, the Dengars here. We got Hong Kong, another Hong Kong, a COO removed with a scar. The scar refers to the scar on his face, right?
Uh huh.
And then scar complete, I think, is like a longer scar. And then he's got the red backpack is the other known variant. Yeah. So they're showing brown and red backpacks. They're showing down here the more reddish and the more tan, or I mean grayish armor plating. And they actually have three different faces here. There's like a darker skin, a lighter skin, and then like a pale white, really pale white. I don't think any of mine are really pale white. They're more of that yellowed and then peach skin. But yeah, one of them definitely does have a larger scar. I see what they're talking about with the scar on his face.
Throw that up on a big screen. Let's see the different scars.
You want to see if we have the pictures of them?
Yeah, I want to see what the different scar variations. I want to see what those look like. I can't see the smallness of this screen. I can't see that.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this. Let's see that. I'll just share a different screen here. Let me see if I can. Scar complete. Let me see if that one shows. Boy, it's even hard to see on their Dengars aren't in the best shape for these these examples here. Hold on. Let me we're going to go into like freaky room for a minute. Here we go. See, they don't. It's very hard to see, but look how bad this figure is.
Yeah.
This isn't like the best example.
Oh, he's been played with by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I look at this one
I
with
see
another.
Salacious Rum says something about the scar is where they covered up the COO.
Oh, they're referring to that, not the scar on his face.
And then Mark says, meaning it was made in Hong Kong, then scarred out so it could be sold elsewhere.
Got it. This scar is what they're talking about. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I see. Because in my opinion, there definitely is a difference between the scar and his face. Because, like, if I go back to StreamYard here and stop sharing, and we go to the bring this up, like, this one definitely has a deeper scar in his face than this figure does.
Yeah.
You know, so I was thinking they meant that.
No.
Because I mean, I can see it within my own figures that there's a difference in the scar. But yeah.
JT, listen to this. Imagine the guy from Chicago telling his wife, "Did you pay the bills, love? No, I got something much better. I bought a Dengar figure with missing paint. I want a divorce."
That's funny. I want a divorce. Scar is the COO. Okay. Yeah. 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 Maybe the Scarlet Silk will be sold elsewhere, mostly Spain with posh PBB. Yeah. Mine's very stiff limbs beside his left leg. I'm glad I will never try this. Dengar, the new magic beans. Lily Letty had their own molds. Yeah.
Lily Letty, that was Mexico, South America.
I think it was down south of us. Yeah.
Yeah, they would always end up with their own molds. They did that with Superpowers as well.
And different colored, like, didn't Squid Head and Bib Fortuna and all them have like reddish, like different colored capes and everything?
Yeah.
So next up, let's see who we want to look at next. So we got my Dengar and my IG88s out of the way. Should we go for let's go for some of these guys here?
Let's go with the Death Squad commanders there.
These guys, yeah.
And then they were called two different things. They were called Death Squad Commander, which is what I remember, and then that was changed to Death Star Commander later because they didn't want it to sound like they were in Nicaragua killing people over drugs, right?
Well, I mean, something like that, right? Yeah.
I love that looks like a mixing bowl that they have on their head for a helmet.
Oh wow! So this one is very interesting. Let me whoops.
Oh, here we go.
Well, here we go. We'll just go to here. Can you see
All right.
that? You're okay?
Yeah.
So this one has like the Hong Kong GMFGI with 1977 all up here on the leg, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then if you go to the Cater, China, and Lily Letty versions, the 1977 is way down on the leg. See it? It's way down here.
Yeah, way down below the knee.
Yeah, the Hong Kong and the GMFGI, General Mills manufacturing stuff, is all up here, but it's the 1977 is way down by his ankle, by his foot, and it looks like the Lily Letty China, the real Cater China Lily Letty, the Hong Kong is etched out, like it's scraped off here in each spot, where the regular Cater version, it's you can still see the Hong Kong pretty prominent, and
now,
then the PBB.
Were these manufactured in different years, or were they just manufactured at different places at the same time?
Different places at the relatively the same time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and from my understanding, when the thing was scraped off, it's like they sent the mold to another country. It wasn't Hong Kong. It was like Spain or like China, or so they scraped off the Hong Kong because they didn't want it to say Hong Kong, but it was essentially the same mold. A mold was given to them. In a sense, it might be like a secondhand mold or something. I don't know, but so they scrape off or fill in the Hong Kong so they can't. You're just not reading that part, you know. And then the PBB will have it'll be the 1977 up on above his leg, on the high upper part of his leg, but the Hong Kong is totally scraped away. It's totally gone. You know?
Smoother. It's not scarred looking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real smooth looking. So those are the major things we're looking for there. And then as far as the like looking at variants go, you can see this, right?
Yeah. Tail face, pink face, blue rank bar only.
Oh, instead of red and blue.
Ah, that's interesting. I didn't realize though there were variations like that either.
No, I knew there was like glossy gloves, boot, and helmet versus like a dull helmet. It's like a dull helmet versus a glossy helmet. I kind of knew about that, but I didn't know there was some with a blue bar. I'm gonna have to look. All of mine have blue and red.
Yeah, mine has blue and red. My figures are in terrible condition, and they're in their little cases that I had when I was a kid, and the weapons are all in a little plastic container, like a Tupperware dish that Mama put them in, and they just stayed in there. And what I really need to do is go through them and put the weapons with each one and put them all in some kind of a little Ziploc bag and put them back in those cases.
Yeah, now I'm going to look at my COOs. So I do have one with the COO. What did they say that was? The COO down by the bottom. So that's a Cater China. So I do have a Cater China one. Let me take that back to the... So this one is a Cater China. The 1977 is down there.
Yeah, it's down below his knee.
Yeah. And he doesn't. He's been so worn away. He doesn't have any color.
Yeah.
There's no badge anymore. That's been worn away. But the other thing is, notice his face is so dark.
Yeah, that was the variation, the pale face and the darker face.
We noticed that on the Han Solo also. I have a Cater Han Solo, and the same thing was true. The face was really dark compared to the American Hong Kong version.
That has to be plastic, right?
Yeah, it's probably the plastic. So it's that's a noticeable thing like if you see
Because
a
his head is molded in the flesh colored plastic, and the helmet's painted on, right?
uh I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, because some of them have a line
Yeah, where
where the
the paint's
helmet's,
rubbed off.
yeah, rubbed off. So yeah, you're right. One of these is from when I was a kid. I don't trying to figure it could be. I bet it's one of these two are the one I had since I was a kid. So let me see. I'm looking at all these. So that's a regular Hong Kong regular one. Hong Kong regular. So we've got a cater one. Oh, here's another. We've got two caters. Look at that.
So the bulk of these, did you pick up at garage sales, online sales, or how did you acquire so many different variations of each? Did
This
you
one.
you
This
seek
one's
them?
this one's the one I had since I was a kid. I can tell because I as a kid I put marker on the helmet because the helmet wore away,
Uh huh.
and I put marker on the hands because the hands wore away, and I can feel it. It's sticky now because
Uh
the
huh.
the yeah. I used a black felt tip marker and redid and he's really loose. So see like that. I can tell this is the one. His head's really loose. I remember this now. Yeah, so this is the one I've had since I was a little kid. Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of times what I've done is I will go to garage sales and just or like we have a lot of community sales down here in Florida, and I've
Mhm.
been doing this my whole life. Like I went to, like even back in the '90s, I'd go to a shopping mall, and there was people selling stuff in the middle of the mall. And if I see a box of Star Wars figures, he'll say like, "Oh, there's $6 each or whatever," and then I'll negotiate like, "Well, if I buy the whole box, can I get them for $3 each or something?" Or I calculate that in my head. I count them up and go, "Okay, there's 20 figures. If I do, oh, can I give you $60 for the whole box or something?" And then he might negotiate. I'll be like, I don't know, 70. How about 65? Okay, you know what I mean? And so I'll just take the whole box home with me,
Yeah.
and I've been doing that my whole life essentially. Most of the time it's like if I see stormtroopers, biker scouts, if I see these imperial guys in there that I can army build, if I see one or two of them in the box of various ones, and then there'll always be some Landos and Hans and Lukes in there, I'll just buy the whole box and just sort it out when I get home.
I think I ended up with three stormtroopers when I was a kid, and it really upset my mother because she couldn't understand why I wanted another figure that I already had. The army building aspect of that just did not click in her head.
Yeah,
Same thing with Jawas. I mean, you can't have just one Jawa. You got to have like at least five or six of them so that one of them can drive the sand crawler. I had that sand crawler that had the remote control on it. You remember
oh
that?
wow, yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pick like of the Hong Kong ones.
Did
I
you
think
end up with
I
one
think
of each variation there in that pile of Death Squad commanders that you had?
well we've got the one from the China one or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Cater China. And then we've got the American release. So I think I'm gonna put these two in. And this one I think is gonna win because these are the two best of the American Hong Kong release. And his helmet's got more fading on it.
Uh-huh.
So I think this one's gonna go in the cabinet.
Yeah.
His colors look better. The belt looks better. So I think I'm going to do these two figures. And you can noticeably see the faces are different. So that's
Yeah.
kind of, even though he doesn't have it, it looks like his thing has been faded off. It's still gonna represent that other version that exists. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And the other ones can be used for like my diorama things. And then we've got some ATST drivers here. Let's see what we got with ATST drivers. We'll work our way up, I guess.
Yeah. I never had the ATST driver. He came out in the Return of Jedi.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Hey, Jonathan Redmond.
Hey, Jonathan.
As a kid, John was modding his toys. Yeah. I took you know what I did when I was a kid? I took a couple of Bespin security guards and I painted their hands black, painted their helmets black, and then I put black accents, I think, on them. And then I painted their boots black and turned them into Cobra soldiers.
Well, that brings up an interesting question. How did you play with your toys when you were a kid? Did you act out scenes from the movie, or did you mix and match your collections together and have your own adventures that were just totally different?
It was, I mean, there was a little bit of both in the beginning. I mean, like my friend Joey and I had a friend Joey in Irondequoit, New York, where I was first getting into Star Wars. I think him and I would often recreate scenes from the movies and stuff. But I moved away from Joey when I was about 6.5 years old, and we moved to a farm in upstate New York. And there I met my best friends were like Marty, Steve, and Greg, and the three of us would often mix all the figures together. So Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and we would do our own stories. We would, sometimes like Chewbacca would even be the leader of the Imperial Army, or the bad guys or something. It was like we didn't even keep the roles the same. We were like just randomly pick. I think it was because if we liked a certain character, we wanted him to be the leader, and then they would often be like, well, like we would have stories like, I remember one time they discovered the Transformers, because the Transformers were generally larger than all of our 3.75-inch figures.
Right.
So like the bad guys were like, we've discovered this new alien race of giant robots. And they'd be like, yes, and we're going to help you take over the good guys, and so then like a couple of the robots were like, I don't like this. And they would join the good guy team. And
right.
You know what I mean? And they would both have giant robots, and they, they even out the teams. And
I had a friend of mine who lived across the street. His name was Jimmy, and Jimmy had all the adventure people.
Oh yeah,
his Fisher-Price adventure people were the same scale. As a matter of fact, I think when they did prototypes for these to try to bring out the line out, they used those adventure people to make the original prototype figures that they showed to get the line off the ground. But there was one adventure person. He had a red hair and a big red beard, and that was Jimmy's figure, and he would always be that man, and that little man would be the leader of whatever faction that he was playing on his side of the room. And then of course on my side of the room I would have my figures, and we would fight each other. So it wasn't necessarily whether we were bad guys or good guys. We were just opposing forces, I guess.
Wow. So the other thing that it looks like happened is a lot of American stuff switched over to.
There we go. Okay.
Switched over to Taiwan by Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And so there's Taiwan ones. Unitoy, Lily Letty have the scars. Well, there's no or smooth, like a smooth.
Now the Unitoy,
the Lily
Letty were sold elsewhere other than the United States, correct?
Yeah, we didn't have those here, correct?
Right. Okay.
But the Unitoy will be the regular gray. If it's a dark gray, it's probably the Lily Letty.
Uh-huh.
And it looks like the LFL is like faded more on the Lily Letty than the Unitoy. And then let's see what these guys say about them. Taiwan COO removed, and Lily Letty. So there's really just, they're really only showing the three major differences. Some of them have more prominent pips on the helmet. Darker gray helmet with the COO removed. Okay. And they're saying, yeah, so this is, I don't know, for some reason this seems more prominent, like a harder edge, like where this is more sort of smoothed out a little bit. There's almost like a mold line here too that this isn't as prominent. Angled badges, lighter plastic, matte black, glossy black. Interesting. So I'm not sure if any of mine look different, to be quite frank. I don't know. Let's get this out of here.
You need to invest in one of those big magnifying glasses so you can put them underneath the magnifying glass with the little light on to see that stuff. My eyes have gotten up to, I can't see that little stuff hardly anymore.
The ATST driver was played by Richard Marquand, who directed Return of the Jedi. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's nice. Little piece of trivia.
When I played them, it wasn't until Toy Story that I realized there was a whole different way I could have played with them. Yeah. Black hole doesn't count, JT. The one that gets pulled out was played by his namesake, Robert Watts. Oh, okay, so they were both interesting. Out of the top. Remember Chewie pulled them out?
Yeah.
So the other thing I did with my figures when I was a kid. Oh my gosh, I can barely read these ones. The other thing I did when I was a kid, I remember distinctly, like, we would pretend that they're shooting movies. So, like, I remember the Awe Striker, and instead of that thing being a big gun on top of the Awe Striker, that was a movie camera.
Okay.
So I would have a guy standing on the back, hanging onto that gun, acting like it was a movie camera, and he was taking a shot. And, like, so the HISS tank and the Mobat tank or whatever would be driving along the village, and the Awe Striker was keeping up next to them, filming the action scene as the chase scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, they would, and so I would put together entire, like, I would have casting calls with my action figures. So, like, Duke and Cobra Commander and the Baroness would be sitting there as, like, the producers of the movie, and they'd be sitting in their chairs, and then, like, Chewbacca would walk in, and he'd have to like do an audition for his part. Like, I did all this crazy stuff with them, and then they would film the movie and do all this stuff, and it was because I watched all those making ofs when I was a kid,
right?
And I was like, I could do that. We could do a So I do have one here that doesn't have a COO on it. That's interesting. So let me put him aside real quick. Yeah, and this one says Taiwan. So we got 1 Taiwan, 2 Taiwan, 3 of them with Taiwan. And then this one here doesn't have, there's no Taiwan on here. There's no COO on this leg, so it's worn out. It's like been removed.
Is it worn off, or is it one of the like Lily Letty figures?
No, it's not. It's really light colored. So they were saying the darker one is the Lily Letty.
Okay.
So this would be a this would be just a no COO unit. Well, I guess Unitoy.
Mm-hmm.
if there's only the 3, Unitoy, Lily Letty, and Taiwan are the 3.
Right.
So it would be a Unitoy, COO removed.
So you only have four examples of the ATST driver.
Yeah. So let's pick the best one. So this one's out. He's discolored.
Okay.
So I'm going to say this one's out of the running. And I got to choose between these two. So both of them have.
How their shoulder patches looking there?
Yeah.
Now, so one of them's got a better shoulder patch than the other one. It looks like.
And this one's got better hands and feet.
Uh huh.
But he's got pink and discolored like marker things on his legs. Where this one has a better body, but his hands are more worn.
Right.
It's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
You know? I might just pick this one because he kind of looks better standing there. He doesn't have this one. I don't like the pink on this one.
Yeah, it looks like
like
it got discolored, maybe sitting next to a piece of cloth or something over the years.
Oh my gosh, and look at this. He's got
somebody wrote their name on it. Wow.
Yeah. Freddie.
Freddie.
It says Freddie on it. Look at that. I didn't even see that till just now. So yeah, I guess this one's going in the cabinet. That one's got a big Freddie written on the leg. Look at that. That's funny.
Look how written his Sharpie marker on him.
Yeah.
Mom probably put that on there so that his figure wouldn't get mixed up with the other kids.
Wow, his is really worn off. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's funny, Freddie. So I think I don't have enough. Like the other guys, I've got enough guns to give everybody, but this had that little gun, and I might have only one for these guys.
What kind of gun did they come with? Did they come with that Stormtrooper gun, or did they come with something different?
It's that little like Princess Leia blaster.
Oh, that thing.
That little tiny Endor. That little tiny Endor blaster, whatever you want to call it. And I've got one for Princess Leia, one for my B-wing pilot, my A-wing pilot, my Imperial gunner, and then one for this guy. Because I think I've only got those 4 or 5 of that little gun. So there's enough where I can give each figure that came with it one of them, but I don't have duplicates to give to multiples. So that's a really hard gun to get these days because it's so freaking small.
Wow.
It's often lost, you know. So I got to find more of my Imperial pilots. I know I have more around here somewhere, so we'll leave him off to the side. Let's go to the ATST drive or the AT-AT Commander, right? AT-AT Commander.
Right.
Let's move to the AT-AT Commander. AT-AT Commander has 3 different Hong Kong COO things and then a COO removed. AT-AT Commander. So let's bring this back up. I'm going to go to, so this one's showing we got a Hong Kong COO, Hong Kong COO 2, Hong Kong COO 3, and then a COO removed. I feel like there's 2 different faces on this guy.
Well, there was something down there at the bottom was talking about his eyes or something about his eyes.
We can't find it here. Yeah, so let's see what this says. This says
wide face, straight eye detailing. Thin face, curved eye detailing.
Oh, the eyes have straight or curved.
Yeah.
Okay, so these 2 have the curved eyes.
It's almost like a different face mold, almost.
Yeah, and these have a thinner face. I see it.
And I like the fatter face better than the thinner face.
It does. Me too. It does look more real. Like, yeah. And what's Variant Villain saying? Variant Villain is saying there's Smile, Unitoy, PBB. PBB has the scar. So that was the Spanish. PBB is Spanish, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so they have the scar. So they got left leg unaltered, and then there's some scars on Smile. 1980, Hong Kong. All right, let's see what we got here. So we've got. Boy, it's sure is hard to tell. I might have all. It's really difficult for me to tell if I've got any that are. I can't tell if they're straight or curved faces. It's because it's so weird to. Like how curved is curved and how straight is straight. It just looks so.
Well, in those pictures, it was pretty much.
Yeah.
You could see it. I mean, it was very prominent.
I feel like these all might be relatively the same. I'm gonna have to look at their COs. So this one is a straight up normal looking Hong Kong. Same thing. Same thing. I'm not noticing any major differences in the
Looks
COO
like
in the
so
COO.
all the same manufactured figure. It looks like.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I don't.
No differences in the face sculpts either. Doesn't.
I don't. It doesn't look like it to me. I mean, I'm having them right in front of me. I don't see a whole lot of differences.
That thinner face was very striking, though, was it not? In that photograph that was on that website.
Yeah. We could bring that back up real quick, but yeah, I think you're right. It was very.
Yeah, I mean it's very striking. You see that? It's a total different mold altogether. Is what it looks to me like.
I feel like all mine kind of look like the thin-faced version. I kind of feel like all of mine are number 2 there.
Now he's going to have curved eyes, whereas the wide face has straight eyes.
Has more straighter, and I don't.
Can you right click on the screen there and zoom your browser in on those faces?
Can we zoom here?
I know you used to could do that with Firefox. I don't know what you're using there. It looks like Chrome.
Yeah, I think I'm just on Chrome. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we can't click each face either. Back, forward, save, print, cast, send to your device, page source, inspect. I don't have a zoom. I don't think.
Let me see.
Oh, here we go. Zoom. Here we go.
There. Maybe we can see a little better now.
Whoa. All right, go back.
Too far. There we go. Yeah. All right. You can see the differences pretty well there. Now, let's compare that with your figure and see if you can see how the eyes look on your figure. That the eyelashes, not necessarily his eyebrows, but his eyelashes are straight on one and they're curved on the other one.
Yeah.
The face on the wide face one looks like it's a softer plastic and a different paint than the one on the
yeah, see, these look very shiny.
Yeah.
You know, where these
are.
What
it almost looks like one figure is molded in the flesh tone and everything's painted on, and the other one looks like the face was painted on. Does it not?
Yeah, it almost does. This looks like it's been painted. Yeah. Huh. They're not really mentioning it that way, though.
Well, it may be different, but that I'm just looking at the picture there, and that's what it's kind of striking me as.
Yeah. One of those looks normal. The other looks like it's a Wish version. Click this. Yeah, okay, we got it. John Clone was Freddy. Yeah. Top right. AT-AT Commander has one leg slightly shorter. It's a great figure for looking around corners. Yeah, they call that a
Skywalker like that with one leg shorter than the other.
They call that a short pour. We've run into it with the Chewbacca and the Darth Vader so far. Yeah, see, it's so hard to tell, but to me, these all look like they're like this one's discolored. He's got green on his torso, so he's probably been out in the sun too long. But they do kind of have curved eyelashes, you know? Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell, but I really do think they're all the curved eyelash version. I don't think there's really any difference between these.
Yeah, and then that would be the thin face as well, so you don't have the wide face variation.
Yeah, so that would be an interesting one to sort of try and track down, you know. I don't need to go crazy looking for it, but
no, but the wide face one looks better to me than the thin face one, by sure.
I think it kind of does, yeah. So if I'm going to go through and pick the best for me, I think he's got some wear and tear on him. That one was faded, like I said. This one's got some. Did Freddy write on this one again? Because this one's got some pink on it. No Freddy. And this one's got a little bit of wear on his hands and feet. And then
one of them looks like he's got a darker colored face.
He does, yeah. He does actually, yeah.
Is that just a shiny place, or is that a mark there on his face?
It's a mark. He's got some markings on his face. Some looks like an overspray on the paint or a mark.
Okay.
I think this one's the best condition. His hands have no rub. His feet have no rub. His face looks pretty good. So as far as going in the cabinet, I think it's going to be this one. And then I won't consider any of the others major variants enough for what I'm doing right yet. So we've picked an AT-AT drive, AT-AT Commander. Let's look at the Star Destroyer Commander next and see what we can do with that guy.
This was the figure that was modeled after the character Admiral Piet, correct?
Yeah, I really think it was, right? Imperial Commander. Now, the weird thing for me is that I feel like, though, I remember him coming out in the Star Wars line, not Empire Strikes Back, but I guess he was an Empire Strikes Back guy.
Yeah, they didn't release him in the with the Star Wars back.
See, I thought he came at the same time as this guy. I thought you could get him and him like in the beginning, but yeah, it wasn't until later I was like, oh, he actually was later in the line, you know. Oh, why doesn't this have it's Star Destroyer Commander, right?
That's what I thought.
He's not showing up on Variant Villain. Let me just put in Commander. Let's see what. Oh, is it Imperial Commander? Maybe that's
Imperial Commander. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's listed as Imperial Commander. There we go.
Maybe we're getting Death Star Commander.
Yeah, vibes, right?
Confused there, because I know the Death Squad Commander ended up, they changed the name of that later on in the line to Death Star Commander because I guess Death Squad had too many implications.
Imperial Commander. So many different head sculpts on this one. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, they did that with Han Solo too. I never understood why Han Solo ended up with the thin face and the fat face, and the big head Han Solo never looked like Han Solo to me.
They look like Sean Solo.
It looked terrible.
JT, I think he was at the door. I actually don't think he climbed up in the ATST. I think that Chewie threw a uniform down, and then he was at the door on the camera at the doorway.
Throw him off too.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of variants on this one. So Mark is right. We got let me add this to the stream here. So we've got Hong Kong skinny head pink face, Hong Kong skinny head pink face, Hong Kong skinny head pale face, skinny head pale face, fat head pink face, a Lily Letty in a China.
And they have no pictures of those.
And these are showing variant or COO marks for the Smile, the Unitoy, the PBB, the Lily Letty, Cater, and the Cater China.
Wow.
So there's a couple of different variations here that we want to look for. Let's see if we got anything obvious first in our look here. The two hand heads are variants. They're just different factory molds. Okay. Oh, okay. These are just different factory molds. So right away, I can clearly see that like these two have a very pale face compared to like some of these others.
Uh-huh.
So there's definitely this looks like Commander Data. He's so pale.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some pale face variations here, and there are different colors in the face. Boy, and some of these look like that one looks like a totally different head. This one's really wonky. He's like really he's like curved or something.
Mm.
This one is a totally different. Like, look at these. Oh, that's the fat head, thin head difference.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So you got something one of each of those.
Because I was like, they're obviously different. Yeah. Different colored eyes, the way they painted them and everything. Interesting. So let me look at some COO stuff on here. Oh, so this one is totally scratched off. You can even see the way the leg has been scratched off up here. So it's only got the date stamp, the Taiwan or Hong Kong, whatever, is all gone.
Well, that makes me wonder if they scratched it off after it was molded on some of them, or whether they altered the mold itself.
So that's I think they alter the mold. Yeah, variants are factory running like Bespin, Leia, Polo. Yeah, okay. Yeah, where paint errors is they just forgot to paint it that day. It wasn't actually a factory decision. It was just some guy didn't paint them that day or painted something different, So let me look here. So there were scarred Hong Kongs. So we will find some scarred Hong Kongs. So that doesn't mean it's from anywhere else necessarily. 1980 LFL. PBB has some scars. Lily Letty has scars. Oh, but the wow, there's even, look at this. So let me bring this back up. There's even like you can see mold marks here and here. So like there's different ways of looking at the scar to determine if you've got a Lilly Letty or a PBB. That's pretty, wow, that's really getting intricate in there. Okay, and the straight line ones are either Unitoy or like regular Smile, where the Cater ones, it was Lucasfilm Limited, and then underneath it was the 1980. So that's, mine are in a line, so that's in a line. This is Hong Kong, all in a line. No different there. No different there. No different there. No different there. No real difference there. Okay. So I've basically got standard Hong Kong ones, except one of them could be a PBB because the scar is gone. So essentially, I'm putting this one in the cabinet because it's got the scar and the fat face. And then I've got to pick a thin-faced one, which I think I'm going to use this one to go in. And then one with a pale face. It looks like this one's the best pale face. So I may end up with 3 of these in the cabinet, just to show off those differences. Do I want that one? No. Yeah. Interesting. All right, so it looks like we got these guys sorted. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So I've got a pale face, a regular face, and a fat head. And they're all going to go in the cabinet together. All right, so 3 on that guy again.
So who's next?
You got to think of all the different factories making these figures, different molds, different paint, different plastics. Yeah. Bespin Leia Polo Neck, yeah. Hey, Monkey Thrifter, how you doing? How you doing, Monkey? Good to see you. Your videos with Mark at Blue Harvest have been cool. I've enjoyed those. I think, right, you guys have, that was you guys that collaborated on a couple of those hunts, wasn't it? Blue Harvest and Monkey Thrifter? Yeah. I think it was. Yeah. You guys did some good stuff there. I liked those. So we got
Rolando Flores there. Hey, he's one of my guys that likes to come to my streams. Well, hey, Rolando.
Yeah, yeah. Rolando's a great guy. I like Rolando a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, Bill, a lot of people will start crossing back and forth, you know, as people get to know each other.
Yeah.
You know, some of your guys get to know us, and our guys get to know you. Hopefully, they cross over. That's the goal, right? Help everybody.
That's it. Because without all the help of everybody, we couldn't do nearly the things that we've already been able to do.
Yeah. So now the major thing with the Biker Scout is they've got these ones are not like so there's some Biker Scouts with a white thing on the bottom.
I see it.
But that white thing is not the correct white thing, right? That's actually been rubbed off, if I understand it. It's actually like a white mold in there, like it's a. Well, I'm sure they'll have it in the pictures when we bring them up here. I'm great, thanks. John, take your time. No toys and fitness this morning. I still will probably end it after the Stormtrooper. I think I'll go through these two because I've got a bunch of other things I need to do this morning. Hey, Weird Fantastic. Now we see the best Star Wars figure ever. I love the Scouts. Do you have a channel, Dino? Dino does have a channel. Is it almost at 1,000? Where are you, Dino? Were you close? Or getting close? I don't remember. Lily Letty has the short snout. Okay. So that's the difference. Geekstrong, you do a YouTube channel? I might have more videos. Doubt it. It's not Grinder. All right. I just dropped a gun here. Where did it go?
Oh, no. John, did I tell you the story about dropping something in the floor and I wallowed in the floor for like hours and hours and hours and I couldn't find it? And I found out that it was on the table at another figure's feet and had been there the whole time I was wallowing in the floor.
I dropped a Biker Scout gun.
Okay.
Now I've got like 4 Biker Scout guns. We'll take them out of their hands while we look at these guys. Do they even reproduce the Biker Scout gun? I don't think they do reproduce these, do they? These are all originals, aren't they?
I don't know. I just found out the other day. Grindhead Jim and I were looking on eBay at Superpowers figures, and just about all of the accessories for the Superpowers figures. There's people out there that are making repros of them, and they look exactly like the things that they're reproducing. So that's interesting.
Mark says it too. Tunnel Rat. Yes, Biker Scout is the best figure. Yeah. Geekstrong says he's at 977, so he is close. Yeah,
getting close there, Geekstrong. You're going to get monetized soon, man.
We'll help get you over that. We'll help get you over that.
I'm getting close to 500 myself. If I can get just about 25 or 30 more subscribers, I'll have it.
Oh, look, here's Tunnel Rat. So the other day, Tunnel Rat streamed a video game, I think for the first time. And so everyone go subscribe to Tunnel's channel. And we'll get Tunnel some subscribers over there. Yeah, I don't think was that the first thing you ever did was streaming that game the other day? I don't know.
Tunnel's only got 3 subscribers. Well, now you got 4.
Yeah,
bro.
See there. Now you got 4. There you go. Oh, so that there is a difference here. So we might have one variation here. Biker Scout. So I'll bring this back up again. We'll zip over here. So they're saying a Hong Kong COO1 Sculpt 1. You'll notice there's no dot of white there underneath the head. But if you go to Hong Kong COO Sculpt 3, there is a white dot. See that?
Mm-hmm.
And then what Mark was talking about is the Lily Letty. It's actually molded all the way across. See that? So it's a shorter black snout. So you're looking for 3 different helmets in a sense. Black all the way down, a white dot, and then this short. So I don't have the Lily Letty. There's no Lily Lettys here, but I might have Hong Kong. I might have basically a Hong Kong, a Taiwan, and let's see if there's any removed markings there. Yeah, they talk about it here. They talk about different mouthpieces. Yep. An indent on the chest piece and different groin wrinkles. Interesting. Oh, there is an indent on the chest. There's a look at that. There's two. It's almost like two marks. Wow, fascinating.
So maybe that wasn't paint rub on that helmet. Maybe that was a variant that you had there, huh?
Yeah, it is. You can see it. All of them have. So all of them have this extra mark on the chest piece, where when they don't have that, that mark's not there. Very interesting. Huh. All right, let's take a look at some COO marks on these guys. White Shadow says, I just hit 451. Woohoo. Getting over 500 is the first hurdle. They put yours up. Weird for Tassie. Thanks, Rolando.
Appreciate that, Rolando.
The AT-AT driver is definitely the best looking. Some of the old Battlefront we did are gone for some reason. No toys and fitness, so I feel bad about the pancakes I ate. He says it's just wear, but I don't know. They show it as two different variations. I have 88. Yeah, fabulous. Thanks, Rolando. He's putting up a lot of different people. Good. White Shadows up here. Fabulous. Mark's putting some up. Thanks, guys. All right, let's look at these COOs on these biker scouts then. So I've got a Taiwan, so we'll put Taiwans here. I got a Taiwan. Ooh, I've got one where it's Hong Kong on the feet. So Hong Kong on the feet, not the leg. I've got a Hong Kong on the leg, not a Taiwan. Hong Kong on the feet. Hong Kong on the feet. Taiwan on the leg. Hong Kong on the feet. Taiwan on the leg. Hong Kong on the feet.
Do you have any examples without the indent on the chest as well?
On the leg. Yeah, I do.
Cool.
So Hong Kong on the legs have no indent on the chest. So
Okay.
these two up top don't have a mark on the chest piece that they were pointing out. Where all the other ones, so the Taiwan and the Hong Kong on the feet have the indent in the chest. And what's interesting is you can see in the same factory, some have the white dot and some do not. So it's interesting that we've got some differences there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the best one from each line and put 3 biker scouts in the cabinet. Because the other thing is these have a closer stance on the legs. You see that?
Yeah. Then the others are flayed out.
Yeah, flayed out a little bit. I think with some cleanup, this one's going to be the best. It's between these two, I think.
Yeah.
Based on the coloring of the legs, these are a little faded. These have gloves and marks that are sort of more prominent. This one is all black in the arms, looking pretty good. His helmet could be cleaned up a little bit, whereas this one has the best chest piece. But I think this one's going to win. If I clean him up a little bit more, he should go in the cabinet. So I think I'm going to put him in the cabinet. And then as far as these go, wide stance with the mark on the chest. I mean, this one looks the best in my opinion over here.
But he doesn't have the dot on his helmet.
No, like this one has the best dot, but he's worn off like crazy on his hands and legs.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird because I'm looking
Ooh.
at these and I'm thinking like some of them with the white dot are really worn off in the arms and legs. So it very well could be just that it's worn off. I don't know. It's so hard to make that determination of which is actually that way from out of the box and which is that way because it got faded over, like worn from play, you know? It's
and
like
the white dot is a variation. It's not just a paint screw up.
according to this one it is, you know what I mean? Like we saw, like if I bring this back up, according to this website, different mouthpieces, the white dot and no white dot, you know?
Well, does the one with the white dot have the little lines in it?
Yeah,
I can't tell.
they're right here, 3 little lines.
Okay.
And this one has the lines and it shows the dot. The dot's right here, but it's painted black. Where this one, the dot is white. So, you know, it's like it's hard to.
The one with the dot has different groin wrinkles. You may have to look at the groin wrinkles as well as the dot, huh?
That's true. Yeah, you're right. It says it has different groin wrinkles.
But what is the difference in the groin wrinkles? I don't see it in that.
There's
I see it. There's 3 in one and 2
it's
in
like
the other.
it's one line, where this is like barely a line, a prominent line, and then 2 or 3 lines over here.
Okay.
So it is slightly different.
So you may want to take those dot guys and look at their groin wrinkles to see if they really are that variant.
Yeah. And it looks like the white dot ones will all be from the ones with the on the legs or on the feet, and that's what we're seeing here, the feet. And then what's that one? That one doesn't show a white dot. Oh man, this is so difficult to.
Ugh.
I'm not going to worry about the white dot. I think I'm just going to go with like, so that guy, and then because it's so hard to tell which white dots are actual. Like I wouldn't trust it unless it came out of the box or it was almost looking brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the rest of the figure was unfaded and it had a white dot, then I would trust it's a real white dot one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's like, well, there's so much fading on this figure, it very well could just be rubbed off, you know? So I think I'm just going to do these 2 and this one for the 3 variations of Biker Scout and put them in the cabinet because they're all pretty clean. I mean, I can clean them up a little bit better, but they're the 3 different versions that we've shown from the different manufacturers. And then let's just get these guys. All of these will be going back in the. I've got a couple in my Endor display, and then I had a couple in the hangar bay with the TIE fighter. So next we got our stormtroopers here. So this might be fun. Can you guys pick out the reproduction ones?
So there's some repro stormtroopers up there, you're saying?
Well, there's one. Well, there's technically 2 from the modern. What did we call them? The
retro line.
The retro line. Well, you can see this one clearly is the remnant stormtrooper, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't hold on to his gun; it won't fit in his hand. So I had to put it sideways. But then, can you guys tell who's the other fake stormtrooper?
I'm going to have to look closely because they all look the same. Well, we can eliminate all the ones with the discoloration.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might be able to see a difference in the helmets on the second row towards the end. There's one on the very end, and then there's
one.
Yeah.
This one's the modern. His gun almost won't fit in his hand either. It's whoop.
Well, they didn't use the molds to make the new ones. They had to make brand new molds based upon the old ones.
I think they did. I think you're correct. Yeah. Yeah.
The old molds either don't exist anymore or they're unusable.
So I actually don't think they exist. I think that was the problem they ran into. So this one is not going in the cabinet. He's going to just be on display somewhere. I opened him up to compare him to an original. But I am going to put the Remnant Stormtrooper in the cabinet. And the reasoning behind that is, like, I'm also going to be putting, the ones from Book of Boba Fett and from Mandalorian in the cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my mind, they're a continuation of the Kenner line. So it's just like it took a break. Sort of like the vintage collection. There was a period, what was it, like 2007 or 2008, where they stopped it? And then we didn't pick up again until like 2015 or something.
Right.
So there was a gap of like 7 or 8 years in the vintage collection, but you don't consider it two separate lines. People who collect the vintage collection don't say, well, there was one line in the early 2000s and now there's a second line in the modern age. They just continue it. Well, they just say it's one line that had a break in the middle. So now I look at the Kenner vintage the same way. The gap was just 40 years. So they're going in the cabinet because they're new, distinct figures. So is Tarkin. Like Governor Tarkin will go in. But I won't put like another Luke Skywalker because to me these are just
Palpatine 1975 has a vintage Stormtrooper on the Return of the Jedi card from 1983. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I think I can. Do you want to see mine? I can get mine down.
Well, sure.
I have to climb up a thing, but I'll be right back.
Oh, no. Don't climb.
No, it's just up there. I can get it.
I hated to make him climb like that. That's like me having to climb the other day to get that Shogun Warrior off the shelf. There's so many things in here, so precariously balanced. White Shadow says, no climb, just don't fall. Hey, Gap After Dark, good to see you in. You still have a $3 price tag on an Al Palpatine. That's great. Hey, keep on collecting. How's it going? Yeah, that's right, White Shadow, man. You touch one thing, everything tumbles over, kind of like dominoes. Well, you came back empty-handed. What happened?
Oh, they're over here.
Oh, okay. We were all wondering if you had tumbled over something or fell.
Stormtrooper is also one of my favorite. One of my favorites as well. And I've got
there we go on an Empire Strikes Back card.
With
I like that. I remember the free Revenge of the Jedi figure.
Yeah. So the reason I got it is because it's Revenge of the Jedi, and this is like mint. It's even unpunched. you know.
Oh, wow.
So I bought this like probably 30 years ago, though. This was back in the 90s when I bought this. This was a long time ago. So
Where'd you find that at, John?
I don't even remember because I bought it so long ago. But that's why I own it, because I bought it, you know, back in the 90s. You try to buy something like this now, and you're talking, it could easily be $1,000, you know.
Wow.
So $500 maybe at least. I don't know. But
My goodness.
yeah, I just love that it has Revenge of the Jedi
Yeah,
on it.
I remember when the figures came out with the Admiral Akbar promotion on it with Revenge of the Jedi, and we all thought that was what the movie name was going to be, and then it ended up being different.
And then I got I love Revenge so much that I pick up any of them that I see with the Revenge. At least I used to.
Oh, look at the price tag on that.
Yeah, it's still got a $1.99 price tag.
$1.99
from Alexander's. We didn't have an Alexander's where I grew up, but
when I was a kid, there was a store downtown called Otasco. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Otasco stores. They're no longer in existence. And the lady who owned that store had some toys down in the bottom part of the store, and she had a whole bunch of Star Wars figures down there. And I remember going down there every day when I was a little kid and just drooling over the Star Wars figures. And then every once in a while, somebody would give me some money, and I would collect up enough to go buy. And they weren't but like $2. It's just weird how cheap things were back in those days.
Yeah. And then, so those are my Empire Strikes Back carded ones. I brought down a Return of the Jedi because we were talking about them. So I've got a lot of figures. I mean, I might have 42, I think, the last I counted.
Oh, there he is. Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight.
So, yeah, Luke with the green lightsaber, unpunched. This one I distinctly remember buying. I was at the Rochester Antique Toy Show, and I went over to the guy. Like, I was doing my own table there. I had my own booth. I was with my friend Onofrio, and we were selling, like, Nightmare Before Christmas stuff that we found, and some other things, that video games and just different things that we found that we didn't want for our collection. We would sell off so that we could buy stuff that we did want, like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Star Wars. And there was a guy that had a bunch of carded figures, like a few tables down. And I went over there before the show started, and he was like, I think he wanted like $75 or $80 for this. And I was like, $60, as high as I'll go. I'm not going to pay more than $60 for any Star Wars figure. I think it's ridiculous that you're starting just, you know, when you start getting higher up. And he said no. He goes, I want to see how the show goes. And then Saturday, I went up to him and I'm like, hey, that Luke's still there. I got $60 for you, you know. And he's like, no, I want to see how it goes. And then Sunday came around. I walked over there Sunday morning. I go, that Luke's still there. I got $60 for you. And he's like, nope. And he goes, and then the end of Sunday, we're all boxing stuff up. And he walks over to me and he goes, you still have $60 for the Luke?
I would have told him, no, 50. It's got a discolored bubble on it.
Well, it wasn't discolored when I bought it, actually. It was pure clear. So
it discolored after you bought it.
Yeah, it's discolored over the years. It was perfectly clear when I bought it. It was perfectly mint.
What is the cause of that? Is it the acid coming out of the plastic, or is it?
Yeah, it's got to be, because prior to me putting it in this case, it was stored in a safe. So it had been locked in a dark safe in a cool environment, so it wasn't getting any light at all. So for probably like 20 years, it had shown no light, and then I pull it out of the safe, and it's turned slightly yellowed. So how long
before it doesn't matter whether the color of the bubble is discolored or not?
I think it'll only be a few years before people won't care. I mean, otherwise, the card back is perfectly mint. I mean, it's unpunched. There's no blemishes.
I was listening to another channel. And they said eventually even the figure inside is going to start to deteriorate. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Yeah, I don't know. But some of the gems in my carded collection go all the way back. And again, I bought a lot of these in the late 80s and early 90s, and I've had them ever since.
Oh, wow.
But I've got the free Boba Fett offer. Free Boba Fett offer Hammerhead.
And that's on an original card back too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rocket firing Boba Fett.
But someone cut off the UPC symbol for the Boba Fett.
But
they didn't actually make a hole that goes all the way through the card. So the front,
somebody was smart.
So the front looks good still. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm happy.
How much does that take the value down that they scraped off the proof of purchase there?
I really don't know. But in my mind,
how in the world did they do that with a X-Acto knife?
They must have, yeah. But then this one has the sticker. I've got an example without the sticker, so the original Boba Fett offer. And then I have one with the sticker here that shows it covering up the rocket feature. Because then by this time they decided it wasn't going to be rocket firing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of neat to have both versions. But I just love it for the front. You know, I'm not. That's why I got it for cheaper too. I remember this was I think it might have been like $20 when I bought it. And if it didn't have that mark, he was going to sell it for like $50 or so. But because that was taken off, I got it for a lot less. And at that time, I was buying anything I could find that was in $10, $20 range that was carded.
You know, my Cantina creatures, they never came on a card. I bought.
Oh, did you get them in the baggies or in the?
Yeah, they came in baggies because they came in the Creature Cantina. My mother bought that through either J.C. Penney or Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Yeah.
And I had the tall. What's his name? Snaggletooth, the tall blue Snaggletooth.
Oh, the blue one. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in there, and he was and they were all in little baggies. They weren't carded.
Yeah. And then the gem, the pride and joy of the collection.
Oh, Darth Vader on original card.
And it is original. It's the 12 back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this one I distinctly remember also. So I had moved out of our farmhouse. We lived in a farmhouse in upstate New York. And I moved out and moved to a town nearby called Webster, which was closer to my job. And I could basically walk to work. That's why I moved there. And that my dad called me up and he says, there's these new neighbors moving in up the road. They moved into a house, a few houses down up the road. And they've got some Star Wars stuff they want you to look at that they found in the house when they were cleaning it out from the previous people. So I quickly ran back to the farmhouse, to my dad's house, and they brought in this wrapped present. It was wrapped in Christmas wrap.
It was still never wrapped, given to the child.
And they said they went up in the attic and they found this Christmas gift wedged between a couple of boards in the attic.
Oh, they hid it up there, and then they forgot
about it. So they said they pulled out the wrapped present, opened, and they had only opened the top of the present. They basically ripped and saw the Star Wars up on top. And then they just left it in the thing. They didn't even know it was Darth Vader. They left it in there and said, we'll have to find some people who are into it. And at the time, I know a friend of mine that bought one of these for around $100 at the time. This had to be like 94 or 95, somewhere in that range. And it might have been around 95, because the reason they may have started thinking about it is because there was probably a lot of hype about the muscular ones coming back out. You know, the 95 power of the Force 95 or Power of the Jedi, whatever they called them. And there might have been a lot of talk about that. So they knew that Star Wars was something, because they had probably seen a lot of it in the news or something. I think so. I think it was around 95, 96, somewhere in that range probably. And I'm terrible with exact dates. I really am. Oh, yeah. My brother might remember more than I do the exact date of things. He's better with that stuff.
Is your brother into toys like you are? I know he's not into
No. More into games. He's more into video games than anything else. So, and he's like sports, following American football and cars. My brother knows everything about cars. Like, he will know the exact location of where the badges were on different cars. You know, like if Like if you're going to buy a Mustang Shelby GT, okay, he will know how many centimeters from the side the badge is supposed to be and where it is from like up and down on the dash or something. So you can tell if it's an authentically placed badge or if someone bought a badge and glued it to their dashboard afterwards trying to pull off a prank that that this is a real GT. You know what I mean? He'll know that kind of stuff. It's crazy the stuff he knows about cars. But anyways, to continue the story, so I knew that a friend of mine paid around $100 for one of these. So I told him that up front. I said, well, to be quite fair, it's probably worth around $100. A friend of mine recently bought one within the last year for around $100. And I told him, I said, but I don't have $100. I'm not that, at the time, I just didn't have that kind of money,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, but I would really like the figure because I do have quite an extensive collection of Star Wars stuff. And this to me would be like one of those, like, oh, this is like a prize in my collection kind of thing. And the lady actually agreed. She's like, well, we just found it in the attic. How's $40 sound? And I went, $40. I pulled out $40, gave it right to her. It was like, thank you so much. You know what I mean? And she's like,
a lot of people just don't. They don't. The value of toys just doesn't. They don't understand. This is a child's plaything. Why? How can it be worth so much?
Yeah. So she was just like, well, I went from having zero. I had no idea this was up there to gaining like $40. So in her mind, it was like I just hit a jackpot in a sense. And and then in my mind, it's like I got something cool for a pretty good price, And now I'm thankful I grabbed it because even back then I was like going, should I really spend that much for one of these figures? Because $40-$60 was some of the most I had spent on any of my collectibles.
Is that worth now?
Yeah, I know, right? It's priceless pretty much to me. I'd never buy one these days because they're so expensive. But over the years, I did manage to get a couple others. I mean, I've got a Jawa on a 12 back. I think I've got this guy on a 12 back.
You don't have an example of the vinyl Cape Jawa, do you?
No, I don't own a vinyl Cape Jawa. No way. And I mean, if an opportunity comes up to get one at a reasonable price, I'll definitely buy it. But I'm not going to spend over $1,000. That's just not. And I mean, I still need Yak Face and a Mana Man. Those are the only two I need besides the vinyl Cape Jawa. And again, I'm not going to spend $500, $600, $700 on a Yak Face. It's just, I just can't do that. You know what I mean?
Well, John, I'll tell you where I know where there's some at, and that's a Daycare Kid Toys over there in West Memphis, Arkansas.
Really?
He's got one of everything that you can imagine. And like I said, last time I was over there, he pulled out a tub. And now the thing about it is, I don't know if he's selling those separately or selling that as a whole set, but in that tub was one example of each and every Star Wars figure.
Wow.
Including a Mana Man.
Hey, Kat, how you doing? So Palpatine says a Darth Vader would set you back over $1,000.
$1,000. Yeah, wow.
Wipe the drool from my chin. He says it's a humid environment, plastic degrading. Yeah, so being in a safe wouldn't. I mean, even though the safe's been in an air-conditioned room the whole time, it very well could have been just the
humidity. Yeah,
environment. Humidity. Yeah. Anything like that can yellow that bubble, even if it was in a dark place. In the baggie, this is I just got my Where did I put them? Hold on a second. I just got.
There's Left Coast Graphics. Hey, Left Coast.
I just got the Emperor in the Kenner Hong Kong bag.
Yeah.
And I grabbed this for $25 off a Whatnot auction. And I don't know how much these go for in the original bag. It's still sealed. It's unopened. And the bag is mint. I mean, none of the Kenner or the Hong Kong is faded off. The figure's great. The staff is still, his cane is in there perfect. But I thought $25 was a steal, so I mean, I just grabbed it. I had to get it, It's the mail away version, yeah. I've never seen anyone take a proof of purchase off like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. How is my apprentice doing? Hey, Palpatine. New to figures, what's a 12 back mean? Okay, so the original Star Wars, on the back of the card, they only showed 12 action figures.
Yeah, that's a cross sale. A cross sale would show how many figures there were in the line.
So a lot of terminology with Star Wars figures will be how many figures. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they show these 12 action figures on the back that you can collect. So they call it a 12 back. And then a lot of with Star Wars, they go up from there. So like this one here would be a 20 back because there's 20 figures to collect. So they would call this a 20 back. And then they go to 21, and then I think 23, and then it just goes up from there. So to sort of roughly determine which one you have, at least for Star Wars anyway, a lot of people call it the number of figures dash back. So 20 back, 21 back, 23 back, 72 back, 69 back, stuff like that. So it just helps you know how many, like which version of the card you have for that figure. 2K easy. Hey, Left Coast. The vinyl Cape Jawa's ugly. The cloth, the cloth does look better. Yeah. Yeah. Rick, you just missed Hammerhead. Oh yeah. Shall we show?
Yeah, show Rick the Hammerhead.
Yeah, we were talking about Hammerhead, Rick. So.
Okay, Dino says he's not streaming today. He's going to be on later with you for Christmas in July.
Yeah, he will be. We're doing that at 3:00 Eastern, and that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock UK time. I think that's 12 noon for the Pacific time people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard and Geek Strong is coming back. Because Dude is in Hawaii, so we won't have Dude's Nerdery. We'll have Sean Solo 8. We'll have Vern from Oakhurst Studios and Salacious Rum. And then Geek Strong is coming back, and we're going to be doing another Jeopardy, 80s toy and cartoon Jeopardy, another one. Bill, later in the month, if you want, you should come on with I'll get some people on with you, and you could do trivia with us.
Okay.
I'll talk to you about it later. We'll see what's going on.
All right.
Because I got 2 more weeks to fill with guests for that show, so.
We'll see what's going on. I know at the end of this month, Jim and I are going to be doing what we talked about the other day. That's
right, the 30th, right? Why don't you tell some of our people about that before we get into the Stormtrooper here?
Let me do this real quick. I need to make sure I get the date right.
The 30th, right?
Let me get the date up. Yes, it's going to be on Saturday the 30th, starting at 11 a.m. Central Time, and that's going to be on Grindhead Jim's channel. We're doing an auction, online live auction, with the proceeds going to a very dear friend of ours who has a channel called Masters Maniac Mexico. His nickname is Rollo, and Rollo is suffering from terminal cancer, and right now he's in the hospital. He was on last night on the Ancient Order of Men in the chat, and he said he was just jamming out, because there's lots of music and comedy going on. And he said he was jamming out in the hospital to the music. But yeah, we're going to be what it's mainly going to be is Mexican bootlegs. We know that those are in high demand in the United States, and we know that he can get more money for those up here than he can down there in Mexico. So he's got a portion of his collection that he's going to be putting up for auction. With the remainder of that, it's going to be going to a toy museum that he's just going to donate it to them. But he wants to sell the small part of his collection, and he needs the money. We understand that, but what he really wants is he wants his toys to go to someone who wants them.
Yeah.
He wants them to go to a good home, and so Jim has set up a site. He found this site that will do all the money exchange and all that. And then whatever toy that you buy, Rollo will send it to you from Mexico if you end up winning the auction on it. So
Yeah. And he's got a lot of, so there'll be like Mexican bootleg stuff from way back in the day. They're vintage bootleg stuff. It's not like it was stuff done last week. And then you've got a lot of other random vintage toys from his collection that he's deciding to sell.
and there's also I would make a guess there's going to be some unique items in that that Rollo and the people who make these toys down in Mexico, he's got a relationship with them, and he's got prototypes and stuff like that. So you just don't know what you're going to get into in this. People, you got to check it out, and the prices are going to be reasonable.
Yeah.
We're going to start out at low prices, and we'll let the price go to whatever it goes to as people bid on it. But there's a chance to get some deals here.
Do you have a link for this yet or not?
Jim has sent me the link to it, but he has not told me that I could release that at this time.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out.
It's not my link. It's not my link to share. It's Jim's link to share. So
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to step on his toes on that one.
We'll keep an eye out between you and Grindhead Jim, and
I'm sure that if you're subscribed to Grindhead Jim's channel, you're going to get a notification for that if you hit the notification bell on his channel for that particular one. So just keep an eye out, folks. And like I said, it's going to be Saturday, July the 30th at 11 a.m. Central U.S. time.
let me see if I can bring up Grindhead Jim here.
Yeah, if we could get one of the wrenches down there to go ahead and put the link to Grindhead Jim's channel in, it would be great. White Shadow, thanks for subbing up to Grindhead Jim. Grindhead Jim, he puts on a pretty good show every Monday. He does news and stuff like that, and then around Thursday he'll do a video of him either reviewing a picture.
He's got the Godzilla head, right?
Yeah, Godzilla head. I think the name of his stream is Grindhead Jim Streams. So you go to,
I think I found it here.
youtube.com/c/Grindhead Jim Streams.
Yeah, Geekstrong found it. Rolando found it. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Geekstrong. Appreciate that, Dino. And Rolando, appreciate that,
Great
man.
Chat, yeah. Chris is here. You're right. Collect Matt from Keep on Collecting. Yeah, that is Chris from Chasing 80s Toys. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Chasing 80s Toys. What's going on, Chris?
Chris Miwa has a great channel if you haven't checked it out yet. Really big.
I subbed him a long time ago.
Yeah, really big in the toy community. Yeah, and that video that he did with Scuba Pete about the flag for Iconicon, man, that USS flag is just incredible. And you can't stop you can't stop looking at that thing. It's just so awesome. Yeah.
Talking about the USS flag, that brings up a great story. My sister and her husband lived in Huntsville, Alabama. And actually they lived in a little town right outside of Huntsville. But anyway, I used to go out in the summers and spend my summers with them. And next door there was a little kid. His name was John, and they had a basement So we don't have basements here where I live because the water level just doesn't allow it. But there they had a basement, and the basement was his playroom. And in that basement was what was the he had every GI Joe figure and vehicle that there was, and he had
Wow.
that USS Flag down there with the Sky Striker on it and everything. And oh
Wow.
man, that thing was so huge it filled up a whole side of one side of the room. At least in my mind, as a small child, it seemed like it was huge.
Oh, it is. I mean, I think they said it was like 7 feet long or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd never see something like that for sale retail now. And
Oh,
I
no
can only
way.
imagine what Hasbro Pulse would do to us if they actually released that thing.
This is going to be like $16,000.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my stormtroopers here, and I'm finding three different things. So I'm finding LFL 1977 with no date, with no COO.
Uh-huh.
LFL 1977 with Hong Kong, and then I've got LFL 1977 with a bar. It's got a big bar on it, and stamped in the bar is the word China.
And so those are the only variations. There's no variations in the actual sculpts.
Well, I don't know. We'll find out in a second. I was going to separate them by. This is another one that just has the date in the.
That's a lot of stormtroopers.
Hong Kong on it. Yeah, I just can't resist whenever I see a stormtrooper.
They always look so cool. When I was, I don't have a whole lot of Black Series figures, but I had to get the Stormtrooper Black Series. Just couldn't help it. They look so cool.
So all these Hong Kongs have 2 lines. This Hong Kong is a 3-line Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another raised bar with China stamped in it. So I have 4 different COOs here worth of figures. So let's just see what the difference is with that. Add to stream. So according to this, there is a million different things. Like, look at this.
Lord.
There's Hong Kong 1 with 3 lines, Hong Kong 2 with 3 lines, Hong Kong 3 with 3 lines, Hong Kong 4 with 2 lines. So that's the difference. I've got 2 lines and 3 lines for Hong Kong. No COO, try PPB soft torso. So are these no COO because there's only a date stamp on them? These 4 just have a date. There's no Hong Kong. There's no Taiwan.
You got the hard torso and the soft torso with the no COOs on them, but they don't have a picture example of the hard torso.
See, I don't really understand what hard and soft means, because to me, is soft like rubber?
No, I think that's soft like coinage.
Wait. I think you're right. Look at this. So, like, take this one for example. Let me I get what you're saying. It is like the coins, like collecting coins. I think you're onto something here. Because look how distinct the chest parts are there. Mm-hmm. And when you look at something like this, it's a little bit more.
Yes, it's soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see that, what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it really good.
So I get what I think I get what they're talking about now. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And I can almost see it. Like, that one's a harder, these are softer. So even within the COO, where the same COO, there was some hard and soft, aren't there? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, soft, hard. Okay.
So
China.
and the China.
There's the China. So the China was the 2 up here.
Yeah, and then you got the COO removed.
None of mine look like they were scraped off. These just don't have a COO, where it doesn't look like it's removed. Let's look at variant villain here. And they have a Lily Letty and a Japan also.
Yeah, but they don't have any picture examples of those, unfortunately.
No, they don't.
And
Hong
what are
Kong
we looking at on the
freelance.
arms there?
Square arm pieces. Softer arm. Oh, look at, okay, you can see this. So look how that is. And then look at this one.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the difference?
Yeah.
Here, I'll switch back and forth real quick. Yeah, see that?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Wow, this is another rabbit hole.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. There's pips on the helmets to look for. Wow.
What's that on the knee? Something about the knees.
A raised bubble.
Yeah.
And then a level
Okay.
bubble. Wow.
And then there was one in the middle as well. John, go back to the original pictures, and yeah, that one there. What's going on there?
Oh,
No
no close up. Sorry. Wow. So this is again something. I mean, you could just go down a rabbit hole to no end on this one.
Who would have thought that the Stormtrooper would have so many variations?
Wide mouth, narrow mouth, pyramid mouth. Oh yeah, look at, so here's what they call a pyramid mouth. So it stacks up. And then they have the wide mouth.
Okay, I see what they're talking about now. Yeah, look at the black thing in the middle.
And the narrow
and you can
mouth.
see you can see how the pyramid mouth actually has a little piece in the middle. Yeah, see it?
Yeah. Yep. So
No,
you got
I never noticed
pyramid,
that.
wide, and narrow. You can clearly see the difference. That's crazy.
Yeah, I never noticed all those variations.
That's just holy cow, yeah. And isn't there differences in the eyes, or is that on the Snow Trooper? That's on the Snow Trooper, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, the Snow Trooper, the eyes will connect on some, and on others.
I have an example of both of those in my collection. I have one with two separate eyes and one with one eye.
So look at this. So look at this. We kind of have those examples here. Remove. So this does look like a pyramid mouth.
Yes. Yeah. So he's got those little notches on either side of it that it's not in the other one. We got
it. And we actually have it right here, I think. Wide, narrow, and pyramid.
Yeah, look at that. And those are pretty good looking figures too, aren't they?
Wow. Very interesting. That's really cool. I didn't realize there was that kind of differences in the chest plate differences and stuff.
Yeah, and you're going to have to. You have to look at their arms too, because some of them have square holes in their arms, and some of them have round holes in their arm.
Look at that. This one is really chiseled compared to the other one.
Yeah, one's what they call the soft, and the other one is the hard torso. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And that all is in molding and plastic. So
yeah. You know what's interesting is this has the wide mouth, this has the narrow mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I might actually pick these two as going in the cabinet, and then.
Well, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of Stormtroopers if you want an example of each.
And then I might do. I might go with this one for the pyramid mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the hell of it, and then I might pick one of these China ones just to go in because it's from China. I guess I'll pick this one because it's not as
he's
yellow.
He's whiter and not as discolored.
And then I that'll be my. I think that's good. I don't need to get really nitpicky with it. You know, just the noticeable variations. The variations in the arms.
Oh,
The variations in the arms are really hard to tell. It's like to me, a lot of them look the same. And you're not going to see that from the front anyways, so it's not
no.
something I'm going to be super concerned with. Yeah. I might just do this. I'm going to take this gun off while I set these guys aside. Yeah, I think I'm going to have 4 stormtroopers in the...
Do you have guns for all your stormtroopers, John?
Yeah, I've got, right here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 with weapons right in front of us. So that's enough even for these, but I've got a lot more in a bag too.
And the stormtroopers' guns were all blue, correct?
Well, I think they were the blue to blue black, and then later in the years, like by Return of the Jedi, didn't they turn it to solid black?
Did they? Okay.
I think they, because I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like they got rid of the blue black by the time Return of the Jedi came around. Oh yeah, we've got 6 guns right here, actually. So I've got up to 6 guns to use for these guys. I mean, yeah, I mean, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they had blue and blue black, and then by the time they went to Return of the Jedi, and especially by Power of the Force, all the blue black stuff had disappeared, and it became solid black, right? For all the guns, right?
Left Coast wants to know if you've named all your stormtroopers.
Art Walk, Nathan Bowden, yeah. Have to hit the road again. See you, Chasing 80s. I think I'm caught up subbing to everyone. Jeez, Orlando, making me work this morning. Gap, I'm sure I'll enjoy looking at some of your videos now. Keep on collecting. Do you have names for all your stormtroopers? I didn't name them all. You know, we could name them now. This one could be Earl, Pat, Clarence, Clark, Ken, Frank, Freddie, Jeffrey, and Ernest. There we go. We've named them. Now, who remembers all their names?
Nobody, and you don't even remember which ones had which names.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Sean Solo, yeah. Keep on clicking. All right, guys. So I do actually have a few things I want to do today, and before I get going too long. And coming up next on Salacious Rum's channel is the Lego studs. That'll be coming up in like 20 minutes. So I encourage you to head on over there in 20 minutes and check out the Lego studs. Wait, who was Ernest again? Wasn't Ernest the last one?
Yeah.
The last one was Ernest, right? Yeah.
And you take his helmet off, and it actually is Ernest.
Yeah, and he's got a pet turtle. He's like running around with a pet turtle. So next week we'll start in on the we'll do the AT-AT driver, and I've got a bunch of snow troopers over here. So we'll look at those guys, and yeah. Snow troopers over here.
All right, so take it easy. Keep on collecting. Good to see you today.
So we'll start in on those. Yeah, keep on collecting. Have a good day. Thanks for the fun chat. Yeah. And yeah, I guess that's pretty good, huh? Thanks for joining me, guys. I'm gonna get rid of this. We'll bring Bill and I back up to normal stuff here.
I will be on this afternoon, probably around the same time that you are, but I want to try to stay on a little later than I normally do, because I'm hoping to get a special guest on. And he's a brand new channel. I can remember what his channel name is. It's like a Masters Mini Comics. And what he does on there is he has taken all of the well, he's in the process, and he's gone pretty good ways with it. All the mini comics, he narrates them with the pictures and adds his own voices and a few sound effects to them, kind of similar to what I've done, but it's just pretty straightforward. But he's really good, and I'm going to try to get him to come on the channel with me and talk about his channel if I can get him on, and that'll he'll probably be able to come on around 4:00 Central Time. So I'm going to start streaming about 2, and I'm just going to let that ramble as far as I can. I'm going to show off some toys, and then when he comes on, we're going to have him on. So if you guys are around 4 this afternoon, now stay with me as long as you can. I don't want to step on your toes, John, but
well, there's
4,
a lot of people. You'll be surprised, man. There's a lot of people that if streams are going on, they'll bounce in between all the streams. I've seen some guys in 3 different streams at once. So
well, you can do that on a PC because you can have a stream open in several different windows.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna show off some things that are kind of rare that I have here in the collection. You mind if I share something else here with you real quick, John?
Go ahead, yeah, man.
Let me grab this link here and copy it into another. Let me go over here and put it in here. I'll give everybody just a little taste of what they're going to be seeing today. There we go. There we go. So these guys right. Turn that off. Yeah, there we go. These guys right here.
Oh my gosh, are those the rad? Like, what do they call those? Rad racers or something?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm mute this. There we go. That takes care of that. Okay. Yeah, these guys here are what they call car in a bottle. You see the box Pepsi one back there. I got him boxed, but they have. It's like a soda bottle, and inside the soda bottle was a race car, a dragster it was snap tight. You build it. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
But I mean the monster machines there. What?
Oh, those were weirdos.
Weirdos, but yeah. What were rad racers? Was that something else I'm thinking of?
I think you are thinking of something else, but yeah, those.
But I do remember the guy in the middle there with the almost looks like a wooden house.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like a keg of beer or something in the front of his truck, and he's got that weird witch hat or whatever on. I remember that guy.
Yeah, that's Huey Hut Rod. He's actually riding inside of an outhouse.
That's it, yeah.
And then we got Digger next to him, yeah.
I remember those.
Mm-hmm.
They're model kits also, right?
They are. They're model kits, and then you put them together. They were released in several different releases.
Geek Strong's going crazy here.
Yeah,
you got yourself a kindred spirit there.
Yeah, the Weirdos were released by Hulk Models back in the '60s, if I'm not mistaken. They were re-released again by testers as Grodies, and then here just a few years ago, and by a few, it could be up 10 years ago, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, they re-released them again in vintage packaging. So, and these examples that I have here are not vintage at all. They're the last releases, but they use the exact same molds. I mean, there's not any difference.
No, that's cool though. I like that stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a taste of what we're going to be doing over here at the Weird Fantastic. And part of our adventure today is going to be taking Honky Tonk Man out of his package over there. He's been suffocating over there for about 2 weeks, so I've got to get him out and get him some air.
Yeah, well, Geekstrong says Walmart might have had some last year at Christmas time also. So they're still putting out those reproductions.
Yeah, they're still out there. I have a Davy that I haven't built yet. He's in a box. I'm going to probably dig him out and just show him off. But Davy was a motorcycle rider. He was on the motorcycle and had the leather jacket on and all that.
Nice. All right, my friend Bill. Well, we will see you later. Thanks for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it. It's fun to go through these with someone talking live, and I really enjoyed everybody being in the chat. Love seeing all you guys. Like I said, in about 20 minutes, pop on over to Salacious Rum's channel. Check out the Lego studs. Later on this afternoon, be sure to pop in and see Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures go over a lot of these cool toys, and possibly with his special guest, Master of the Mini Comics. And 3 p.m. Eastern, we have my Christmas in July giveaway. We're going to be doing 3 more giveaways during that stream. Geekstrong will be on, and we have 3 men and a monkey lizard minus the dude. So it'll be Vern at Oakhurst Studios, Sean Solo, Salacious Rum, and like I said, Geekstrong will be filling in for the dude. And yeah, it's going to be a good time doing some more Jeopardy with those guys. So
Geekstrong's going on Evil Bay looking for some weirdos.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, you got him buying stuff, Bill. You got him buying stuff.
I mean it. All right. Well, we had a great time, John. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. All right. I'll play this on the way out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hi, this is Ashley Eckstein, voice of Ahsoka Tano, and thank you for listening to the Super Awesome Geek Show.